After Spider-Man wakes up in his apartment, simply surrounded by several police officers demanding that he leave immediately, Peter looks around confused, and now realizing that his room was completely different since all his belongings had disappeared. He desperately calls Aunt May for help, but only for her to say that she didn't even have a nephew, quickly hanging up on him. Spider-Man then decides to go after Mary Jane, but after she thinks he was just a bizarre stalker, Peter is almost attacked but manages to escape, in the end falling into a huge construction site, which is when he finally realizes that for some reason he was also without his superpowers. Spider-Man then tries to call the Avengers and the Fantastic Four emergency number, but as they just ignore the random guy, Peter suddenly receives a mysterious message saying that if he wanted his old life back, he should go to a certain subway at midnight. A few hours then pass, and as soon as Peter arrives at the station, he gets confused finding a completely empty train car, but only to soon be approached by a completely bizarre conductor with a mustache made of nose hair, saying that Peter hadn't paid the fare and simply starting to chase him. Peter then runs desperately to the farthest car he could, but only for the conductor to eventually catch up to him anyway. Spider-Man then tries to defend himself by sticking a screwdriver into that monster's eye, but as he realizes that it unfortunately did nothing, that's when the train luckily makes it stop, and Peter just jumps out as fast as he could, now continuing to run for his life until he finds what seemed to be a trail left for him on the ground, which was actually made of photos of his loved ones being tortured. Spider-Man then follows the trail to a sinister mansion, and after he finds J. Jonah Jameson being tortured inside, Peter quickly frees him, and Jonah says that there were still more people there because he kept hearing screams from upstairs. And as they go up to investigate and find Mary Jane and Aunt May tied to chairs, Spider-Man frees both of them, but only for as soon as he turns around, May, Jonah, and Mary Jane immediately transform into more monsters. Peter then starts running for his life again, and now realizing that all of that must only be the work of Mysterio and his illusions, Peter smartly manages to knock the monsters down the stairs, and soon after ends up finding Mysterio himself being tortured as well, with Quentin then explaining that he was forced to create that entire nightmare scenario and showing Peter where his hero suit was stored, allowing the two of them to finally escape that sinister mansion. And now with everything starting to make more sense, Peter asks Mysterio who forced him to do all of that, and even though Quentin faints before revealing the truth, that's when Spider-Side appears and says he knew who did all of that, Jackal. Side then explains that he was also forced to help create the nightmare, and after he gives Peter his powers back by disabling an implant in his head that was suppressing his abilities, Spider-Man immediately goes after the Jackal, and as soon as he enters his base and has several flashbacks of being used as an experiment, that's when Peter completely loses it for good and just goes into the fight without holding back anymore, simply breaking the Jackal's jaw with a single punch and ending the fight instantly, which allows Peter to finally be able to talk to Aunt May again and also go check on the real Mary Jane and even J. Jonah Jameson as well.